How's everyone doing today? Episode 21 of Assets and Liabilities. Can't believe it. My 21st episode. This is amazing. I've interviewed some great individuals during COVID-19, just trying to give financial tips to individuals, out there to keep your hopes up, your dreams alive. Definitely want to give my condolences to people that have lost individuals to COVID-19, and please, everyone out there, wear a mask. I've been traveling a lot. I've been doing a lot of things, but I'm always masked up. I always have my hand sanitizer. I always have things going on. So please, everyone, definitely wear your mask. What's going on, Auntie? Hold on. Let me get my pen together. We have a great interview today. Last week, real quick, before I bring my guest on this week, I'm just getting my pen together right now. INSFIN.com, and then my number. If you want a free consultation, 282-243-7514. Email me, call me, and we'll make it happen. We got Coach Taj here, Hillcrest Academy, Hillcrest Prep. So this week we're bringing in a great individual, celebrity stylist Eric Santiago. Last week we had Tricky Stewart on, huge music producer, did Single Ladies for Beyonce, one of his biggest songs, 5-time Grammy Award winner, gave you guys a lot of tips, a lot of things going on that he wanted to share with you guys. So I hope you took that at heed. Definitely please, everyone, I want you to use this time during COVID-19 to set your life up. I want you to use this time to make sure that use your job to set up your career. So use your job to save money to buy property or start your business. Don't be in a job that you hate for the rest of your life. Do not do that, right? So just do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do later on in life. So now I'm going to bring in celebrity stylist Eric Santiago. Waiting on him. He's connecting right there. Gary Goes, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
What's up, Malik? How are you?
Hey, I had to get stylish for the stylist.
I see. I love the coral jacket is off the chain. I love the contrast. You're killing it. You're killing it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I only wore this one time at the polo match they do in Malibu every year. So they do a polo match. And that's the only time I wore this jacket,
I love it. I love it. I love the contrast because it's hard to kind of match that kind of color because it's coral. But it blends in great with your complexion. That's one. I love the pocket handkerchief, the pocket hat square that we call it. Yeah. And you color contrast in there. That was dope. I love it.
Okay, definitely, man. Definitely. Yeah. Yep. So I was just telling people, during COVID-19 to follow their dreams, to do what they have to do so they can do what they want to do. If they're working in corporate and hate their job, use that time to save money, start a new business, buy property. I'm in Beverly Hills a lot, as I know you are, right? And I've never seen lines outside the stores as I've seen during a time where there's a pandemic and people are on unemployment. So people are actually spending their unemployment checks on these high-end brands. And I'm like, that's not the smart thing to do.
At all. I mean, especially right now, this is where we're supposed to support all of our Black-owned businesses. Exactly. And really, we keep giving money to these amazing collection lines. But again, at this time, there's no time for that right now. It's time to really support one another right now. That's what it's all about. And repping brands that are trying to get out there, and really make a stamp with themselves with their things, that they have. So
Yep. So definitely, Eric. So what was it like growing up in the Santiago household, like when you were younger? Like, what was that like?
It was awesome. Well, my parents, they've been together for 43 years. So I
Wow.
grew up, yeah, so I grew up with my dad, rest in peace though, because he did pass away. May he rest in peace. My angel.
Uh-huh.
But growing up with both of my parents have been a blessing, especially kind of having those home family values instilled in me.
Yeah.
So having the support of both parents for all these years was amazing, and they really pushed me to be greater, you know? So.
Yeah, yeah. And how was it? How was it? Having the strength of your mother's support. I know you. I've heard you say a couple of times. My mother's been like my backbone, my supporter. Like
Yes.
when I started through
Yes.
this, like how was that? Because my mom's a big supporter too of a lot of
Yeah.
things that I do, and she pushes me kind of too hard sometimes, but but she definitely pushes me to be the best, to be amongst the best. So how
Yes.
was that having that motherly support there?
It's been amazing for the fact that I was an athlete actually, which no one knows, but I was an
Okay.
athlete when I was a kid. I was a figure skating champion. I was a figure skater actually.
Okay.
So I was training in the ice 5 in the morning, then making sure I had my schoolwork in, and then going to school, then going back to training on the ice. So my childhood was mostly kind of just training as an athlete.
Okay.
And then having the support of my parents for figure skating, if you think about it, there isn't really a lot of minorities in the figure skating,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
side of it. So just being a minority and figure skating, it's a very expensive sport. It's just like gymnastics and tennis. It's very expensive.
Hmm.
But having the support of my mom and just sacrificing her, driving me to the ice and driving me to school and just,
Hmm.
me boarding with people I don't even know and training, in upstate and just training, to become an Olympic champion one day.
Okay.
And representing Puerto Rico, I was kind of sliding in through the Puerto Rico side,
Yeah, yeah,
just so it could be easier.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the support, I can't live without her. She's my rock. She's my heart,
that's
and she
that's
always
what's up.
pushes me to the edge. Never judges me. Always says just go for it, and that's kind of why I'm here because she never lets me fall down. So
That's good. That's good. Now I've done my research on you. I'm a researcher, right? So I
yeah,
know that I know, I know you were on vacation, right? You were on vacation, and this is how you bumped into the industry. You had a friend that called you that said they needed an intern on a film that they were working on, and
yeah.
then that's how you kind of left the corporate world and started interning on movies and things of that nature, right?
Yeah, well, it's weird because I was in corporate America, of course. You know how we
Okay.
all kind of are kind of like conditioned to kind of be in corporate America. I worked for Gray Advertising, which is a huge pharmaceutical company,
Hmm.
doing Nexium, the purple pill, and all of these advertisements. I loved I'm not gonna lie, I loved the job, but it wasn't
Yeah.
for me. The
Yeah.
money was great, but it's not always about the money. I learned that
Yeah.
a long
You gotta
time
find
ago.
out what you love to do.
Yeah. Exactly. So I winded up getting a call from one of my good friends, Roger McKenzie. Shout out to Roger McKenzie,
Shout
celebrity
out to
stylist.
Roger.
Shout out to Kalia too. So what happened was he was like, "Hey, I'm missing an intern for this motion picture I'm doing." Well, actually, he didn't even tell me what it was. He was just like, "Hey, I need an intern. I'm doing a project." Threw the script at me, and he was like, "Just read that and circle where wardrobe comes in." And I'm like, "Okay,
Mm.
cool." Started, going through the script and circling kind of all the wardrobe sections and winded up going on set. When I got to set, I was like, wait, is that Vanessa Williams? I was like, oh,
Yeah.
shit. And then Tatum O'Neal and Fredro Starr,
Yeah.
Nishan Pierce, directed by Anthony Lover. So I was like, wow, started working with him on the film, interning, and then kind of one day they sent me to the trailer to set up the next scene for Vanessa Williams.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, don't worry, she's not going to be in the trailer. I was like, all right, cool. So I walked into the trailer, and what happens? She happens
She
to
was
be
there.
there. She
Yeah.
was there. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. She's like, no, it's fine. The clothes are in the back. So I went to the back,
Yeah.
did the clothes, whatever, came back out. And I'll never forget these words because she's like, wait right there. And she pointed at me. She's a Pisces like me. So shout out to
Okay.
Vanessa. Love you.
Yeah.
So she was like, wait right there. And I'm like, okay. So I waited there, and then she came back and she's like, okay, and that was it. So I went back to the trailer, the wardrobe trailer, and then about maybe like 20 minutes later, the director, Anthony, was like, hey, can we see Eric and Roger in the director's office. And I was like, okay. So he's like, what did you do? And I'm like, I didn't do anything. You know, I didn't do
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
He's like, well, they usually don't call you to the director's office unless something is going on. And I'm like, well, listen, I don't know. I'm just here trying to help you out. I'm not trying to, mess up your
Step on your
job.
toes,
I'm just minding my business, And then Anthony sat us down and he's like, you're Eric, right? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, you're interning? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just here helping him out while I'm on vacation. And then he was like, well, whatever the star wants, the star gets. And I'll never forget that. I'm like, what do you mean? And he was like, so Vanessa Williams wants you to style her for the remainder of the film. And I'm like, what? I'm like, well, I'm just here interning. I'm not here to like stay here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to make a decision within the time frame because when you do film, it's 3 months at least.
Yeah.
And I only had a 2-week vacation. So I took the opportunity to work with her within that time frame. And then it came to me having to make that decision of either continuing. Yeah, either staying on set or leaving my corporate job that's not going to let me stay off for 3 months, So I had to make a choice. And of course you have the people that are like, don't do it, you're making so much money, it's fashion, whatever. And then I have my other support system that's like, hey, if this is something that you love and you want to try out, go for it.
Exactly.
So I made the decision to go for it, and a Grammy Award winner later, I think I made the right decision.
You made the right, I think you did too. And then, Eric, sometimes you'll have, I was just talking about this with my friend today, right? You have a difference between entrepreneurs and 9-to-5 individuals, right? So entrepreneurs used to an abundance, but an entrepreneur take a risk in life that a 9-to-5er won't. A 9-to-5er is used to the 1st and the 15th. And there's nothing the matter with being a 9-to-5er. It's nothing.
No, not at all.
Some people want that in life, but when you have that entrepreneur spirit, it's just something that you can't hold in. It's something that can't be, because I don't care if a person, my mindset is, I don't care if a person's a janitor, have a janitorial company. Be the janitor during the daytime at the school and have janitors in high rises at night that you're running. 10 of them in buildings. You're still an entrepreneur, but some individuals are going to tell you not to do it because they've never followed their dreams.
Yeah, and they're stuck in that bubble of comfort. Exactly. And I realize that if I'm comfortable, then I'm not doing the right thing. Exactly. So I have to feel uncomfortable in whatever I do. Exactly. Because if I am, then that means I'm settling, and I'm not settling. So
yeah, somebody told me if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough.
Exactly.
Exactly. So then you go from the intern to wardrobe supervisor on the movie with Anthony Lover. Then
my brother.
Photo shoots, editorials, and snowballing. Then Ambrose from Mod Squad called you, and then you went to go start working with her and things like
June
that.
Ambrose. Yeah, June Ambrose from Mod Squad with Roger McKenzie, Andrew Caesar, Eric Archibald, the whole Mod Squad crew. So I was sort of like the baby in the crew. I'm new in the crew, but they were able to, really, really give me a hands-on, something you can never pay for, something you can't go to school for, and having that internship with them and being able to work on set with different celebrities, that they were working already with. So I was able to assist them. And then from there, just kind of growing and getting where I'm at now, where, I handle everything on my own. But without them, I wouldn't be where I am because they gave me the time and they trained me and they really, really taught me really well, part of the Mod Squad crew. And then we started the Brat Pack crew with Roger McKenzie. So it's me, Dion, and Kalia. So that was our little crew where we kind of ventured off.
Okay. So what are some of the tips of being a great stylist? Like, what are some of the secrets that you can give? Let's just say there's a minority stylist that wants to be you. Like, what secret would you give them? Or, like, what are some of the secrets that you use?
You have to pay me for that. It's you, Malik. It's fine. I'll do it. Yeah. No, but one of the main things is keeping your relationships. It's very, very important. Your showroom contacts. making sure you have a LOR, which is called a letter of responsibility, because that covers you with anything as far as like you moving around with thousands and thousands of dollars of clothes and jewelry, accessories, shoes. You don't want to be responsible for all of that when you're the one that's being hired. And a lot of people make that mistake. So what happens is they'll take a job not having that LOR, that kind of, it gives you that support of knowing that if God forbid someone robs you on the train or something because you're having all these garment bags, because I'm sure you see people with garment bags all over the place.
Exactly.
You're not responsible for it.
Exactly.
You know, and that's where they mess up at, because and then if something happens, then they have to pay all that money back, you know, and they don't have a letter of responsibility coming from the production house or coming from the client, just kind of protecting you. So that's sort of like an insurance for you, you know? And without that, don't ever work with anyone, because if anything again happens, you're responsible for that. And also it's making sure that the client with the designer or the agency or the showroom you're working with, it makes them also know that that's being taken care of from the production company of why you're going there to pull clothes, you know? So everyone's kind of protected, and the one that kind of has to make sure that you're okay is the client, because they're the ones that's hiring you.
So what is like your perception of working with like a celebrity like a Vanessa Williams, or working like on, let's just say, a movie? Like how do you like, you know, graft towards more Vanessa, then you might have to graft more to like 20 people over here, you know, on a movie set?
Yeah,
like,
well,
on
a movie
differentiate yourself.
Yeah, well, the difference is usually when you're working with the main character, like we call, you will be subjected just to that character to make sure that all of the scenes, all of the looks are correct. Then you're going to have someone else that's going to assist you that will help you with the background. So you can't handle all of that by yourself. Like they say, you can't build a house by yourself. You can't build an empire by yourself. You're going to need help. Unfortunately, a lot of people that get into this game kind of always want to step over your toes, and not follow the rules. And then they realize after that you have a little more power because you've been in the game for quite some time, and you build those relationships. But I mean, I have some stories which you can read soon out of my book.
And I just tell people, and I don't care what business it is, every business is predicated off relationships, period. I've had people I haven't talked to in 2-3 years. I could talk to them today. It'll be like we talked yesterday, right? I have people around the world I haven't talked to in 7 months. If I call them today, say I'm coming to Germany next week, they'll be like, you know, yeah, definitely.
When you coming over?
Do it. So let's take it from there. Relationships are the key to everyone listening.
Everything.
Please do not burn bridges. Even if you don't like anybody, don't talk about them, because circles are small. I have people that I don't like, but you'll never hear it come out of my mouth, right? Because
right.
I don't know what they know. And I just don't like them because they have bad attitudes towards other people. It's not like I dislike them or disdain them. And they've gotten into trouble after they've done, you know, bad attitudes towards me, to where they're out of the business. Now they've burnt so many bridges. Now you
that's it. Like we call it, you're blacklisted. And our industry is so small. You get blacklisted. You would not be called again. We would not be looking for you. You would not get calls. You know, and all we have to do is pretty much just call and say, hey, send an email out. This person is not allowed no more into showrooms, and that's all it takes, because it's a really small room.
So who are some of the celebrities that you work with or working with now?
Okay, so celebrities that I've worked with, Bianca Bonney, Giovanni Alice, Joan Jett, Neo, Trey Songz, Angela Simmons. I have a movie out now that I did with Roger McKenzie and Kalia Clark. It's called E Ganador. It's on Netflix right now, so you guys can check it out. You'll see our credits at the end. That's another thing that's very important. Make sure you always get your credit. You always need your credit, because that's going to show your work. So when you see the movie, at the end of the movie, you'll see my name, and you'll see wardrobe and each film. So that's out right now on Netflix, so you guys got to check it out. It's called El Ganador. Sir Darius Blaine, which I did with Jumanji. Brendan Wellington, which I was just with him as well. He's an Emmy Award winner. Also NBA commentator. I've had, I mean, Chili from TLC. I mean, the list goes on. You know, it just goes on.
Julian Franco said too many, and he started laughing.
Julian Franco. I love Julian. Hey, Julian.
Yeah, Julian
He
Franco.
actually has a great a podcast as well, Hollywood. So that was also cool. Yeah,
Definitely. So what advice would you give young stylists that want to come into the business, stylists that are minorities? Like, you know, what advice would you give them?
My advice is start out with people that you know, like a good friend that's into acting, or a friend of yours that's into modeling. Do a photo shoot. Start with a photo shoot. Play with some colors in their closet. You know, just kind of get a feel of what colors look great on camera. Also, very important, just even with your complexion, our complexion, you know, like that color on you, that coral looks amazing on you because of your complexion. There's certain colors you can't put on certain people. It just doesn't go right. You know, you have to be able to take pictures so then you can contrast the colors and kind of get a feel of your client. So playing around with your friends, I make them all actors and actresses and models, you know, and you play around with them, and then you start becoming comfortable. So then when you go to a showroom, because you got to remember, when you go to a showroom, you're only going to be able to play with the clothes that they have there. You know, so you have to be able to pick out then the outfits or the looks that are going to go well with the client. You don't want to get things that are just not going to work, especially on film, and on camera. You know, you want to be able to contrast with them. So always, you know, so just grabbing a few friends and doing a shoot and just getting your feet wet and do a lot of free shoots. I mean, I worked for free for 2 years, you know, interning when I started in this game. I was eating eggs and cereal and tuna fish, you know what I mean? So you have to sacrifice if this is really what you want to do. It's not like, oh, here you just become a stylist and then you become a celebrity stylist, you know, so it's different tiers, you know. But mostly is enjoy playing around with your friends, family, brothers, sisters, like, hey, throw this on, I want to see, you know, let me take a picture and see how this works out, you know. So pretty much just getting a feel of looks. That's very important because a lot of people put on the wrong thing, and that's a fashion emergency.
So what advice would you give yourself, your younger self now?
My younger self. My younger self, well, I'm still young. I'm staying.
I'm when you first started the business, though. When you first started the business.
I think that I would have probably, what I would do different is make even more relationships with people, because I was a little shy, you know, getting into the game, because this game is very brutal. I mean, you would get eaten and chewed and spit out quickly, you know. So I think making, you know, building more relationships at that time, because I was kind of more really kind of shy. So I was always kind of behind someone and, you know, like not so aggressive as I am now. Now I'm a shark. I'm a piranha now. I'm a shark. So, but being at that, you know, being young and being at that stage of my life, I think I should have been a little more aggressive.
Okay. Your friend Julian Franco said, who was one of your favorite persons that you work with and why?
One of my favorite people that I've worked with and why? So I really enjoyed working with Whoopi Goldberg. Because I never thought that I'd get a chance to work with Whoopi Goldberg, because I've always watched, you know, all of her movies, and I couldn't believe that I was actually getting dressed up in the morning. I couldn't sleep all night, but just getting dressed to know, oh my God, I'm really going now to go see Whoopi Goldberg and work with her. So that was a really big deal for me, you know. Like it was awesome, and she's funny as hell. So like I was dying laughing during the whole entire job. And one thing I would never forget, I made her wear heels. Whoopi Goldberg does not like to wear heels ever.
Really?
But I got her a pair of heels, and she loved them so much that I actually gave them to her to keep. But my whole time working with her, I was hysterically laughing that I left with my stomach killing me because of so much laughter and laughter we had. But Whoopi Goldberg was awesome. Awesome.
Well, okay, definitely. Okay. I already talked about relationships. So the segment is called Assets and Liabilities, right? I know you're coming on as a client with us, you know. Thanks, and, you know, welcome to the family, you know. And I've been on you for a while. I've been tactically persistent,
Yes, you have.
Can
I
you
love that about you. But again, that's a part
part
of
of
no
my
matter
job?
what business. Yeah,
Yeah.
no matter what business you're in, if you really want something, you got to keep going for
But we're
it. So.
friends prior to that, though.
Yes,
So that's what
and
I
that's
like.
what I love.
Yeah.
I love relationships like we have
Yeah.
because I didn't know who the hell you were, you didn't know who the hell I was,
Ex-
but we treated each other amazingly with our
Exactly.
friends that were our mutual friends. Shout out to Patty.
Patty. Yep.
Um,
Yep.
yeah, shout out to Patty. So, just I love relationships like we have because people have a tendency to kind of want to meet a person because of who they are or what they
Exactly.
do. I love relationships like we have. We didn't know who we were with each
Nope.
other, but we respected each other. We had a great time together. And then after a few days, we finally started talking about, hey, well, hey, what do you do? Hey, what do you do?
Exactly. Yeah.
And those are the best relationships because I don't
Exactly.
like fake friendships or relationships. And
Exactly.
I'm very good at kind of distinguishing the both of them now,
Yeah.
in my life. So yeah, I enjoyed meeting with you
Of
and we
course.
kicked it. And we kicked
And
it.
we.
And now looking shout out to Nikki Valentine. That's also his cousin and upcoming stylist as well.
Yep.
I'm doing well. She's been doing some work. I've
Yep.
been
Yep.
talking with her.
Yep.
But yeah, I definitely value relationships like we
I
have.
do too. I do too. And then the segment is assets and liabilities. And you have other businesses outside of styling going on. I know you have a book.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You have a roll, a pre-roll that's vegan, and you have other things going on. Tell stylists how important it is to have other things going on. Because one of the questions Mosaic Creative just asks is, how do you motivate yourself when work is dry? And this is how you do it. You have other businesses going on. So if work is
Correct.
dry in the styling aspect, it's like, oh, I have my book, I have my pre-roll,
Yeah.
I have this, I have that. So tell them how it's important to have other things going on in this
Is
business.
Okay, so it's very, very, very important because remember, I'm a freelancer.
Yeah.
So I'm being a freelancer is hard. You're an independent contractor.
Yep.
Make sure you guys file your taxes, by the way.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's difficult because if you don't get booked, you don't make any money.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Simple as that. So you have to be able to, save your money and start thinking bigger than what you're doing. You always got to think bigger than what you're doing. Again, like from me saying earlier, you can't get comfortable. So you have to take risk.
Mhm.
So I started a business with Asha and Charles. Shout out to you guys. It's called Mellow Fellow
Mhm.
and Drink on the Floor. And they're premium organic smoke wraps. You can put whatever you want in it. I'm not
Mhm.
promoting weed. We are in a flower state. But but again, it's just having some products that no one has. So I have a lily wrap. And then it's a vegan, GMO free, and it's amazing. It's doing well. Especially now with this whole pandemic, everyone's home. So that's kind of things that people want to kind of, do. And then I have my sneakers that I designed, and I'm always designing for other people, but not
Mhm.
designing anything for myself.
Exactly.
You
Mhm.
get hired to design. I've done a lot of silent designing, where the
Mhm.
designer is using your design, but you can't say it's really you that you designed it because they're paying you for that design.
Exactly.
So I decided to do my own sneaker line, which they're called Fire Kicks. They're actually going to be featured on Vogue and GQ soon, so you guys, stay tuned for that. But yeah, I decided to do a basketball sneaker because I come from the Bronx, from New York.
Mhm.
Shout out to the
Yeah.
BX. And always basketball was always an influence in the Bronx. And I was like, hey, I want to do a basketball sneaker and then also do something that motivates you as well. So when you read the tongue, it says every time you feel like quitting, think about why you started. So I
Mm.
wanted to make sure that I'm not just designing a sneaker, I'm also designing something to motivate you when you're putting it on as well.
Mhm.
And then I have a TV show. It's called Style Click.
Okay.
Actually just aired about 2 weeks ago. And we interviewed Pop Smoke's brother, Obasi. Shout out to Obasi. And shout out to Gabaza. But yeah, just basically a platform for designers that don't have a chance to show their stuff. So I literally target designers that want to be able to sell their things to the masses and giving them that
Mm.
platform. So we're like an HSN, but for
Okay.
us minorities. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So you can style and click. You use your phone, you use your barcode, and automatically is in your cart, which is cool.
Yeah.
So again, very technology based. Also,
Mhm.
you have to keep up with the times. Technology is kicking
Yep.
in.
Yep. Yeah.
And then I have my book, Confessions of a Celebrity Stylist, which is kind of obviously what it is. Just talking about my life in this business and the ups and the downs, and just being really candid about it. And then having some property, like I
Yeah.
bought some property in New York. I'm heading somewhere else I'm not gonna mention yet, but
Yeah.
I have yeah, I have property in New York because my mom always told me someone always needs a place to live or something to eat. It's either something to live or eat. So I decided to put all of my money that I made at that time towards something that I know I'd be able to, hey, leave behind to my nephew, my nieces, or whoever, deserves it at the time. But property was very important because again, someone's always gonna need a place to live, and my mom always told me like, that's something where you should put your money in. I mean, it hurt me a lot because it's like, oh my God, all this money. But at the end of the day, now I'm like, oh my God, that was the smartest thing my mom told me to do.
Those would be the biggest decisions in your life, but it's like you have to do it, right?
Yeah, shout out to Steven and shout out to V that are renting my place now.
Yeah. So you have about other 4 or 5 streams of income coming in. You should always have 7. So that's great, and that's
and music. I didn't finish. And music.
Oh, so
music. Shout out to my cousin Moses. We've been working on a record. It's called, mind you, the record is called Changes because everyone's do changes. So that single's gonna be coming out hopefully by the end of September, October. So look out for that as well. Yeah, again, it's not putting all your eggs in one basket and just being able to kind of just maneuver yourself, whichever which way. I mean, what's the worst thing that anyone can say to you is no.
That's it.
That's it. And you keep it moving.
Yep.
I'm not afraid of two letters.
Yeah, Yeah.
So
So I always tell people like Michael Jordan didn't win every championship. He missed thousands of shots. So you got to take your shot in life, right? And if you get 100 no's, you might get 1 yes. And that 1 yes could change your life for the rest of your life. And you never know. Completely. Yep. So I Am Black Sparrow just said, how do you encourage yourself when things get tough in the industry?
I smoke my mellow fellow in Jador. Jador LaFleur. No, I just, what I do is I sometimes you have to take a pause.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to just take a pause. I mean, you'd be surprised how much just you visiting your family encourages you.
Yeah.
It changes your, like, I actually go see family just to get that, like, I feed off of them, because you have that unconditional love and support. So that's very important. So that's kind of like, shout out to Sophie, but yeah, that's kind of like where I kind of draw myself to when I feel like I'm just coming too overwhelmed, and I'm like, you know what, let me see my mom, let me see my brother, my sisters, let me get a feel, of my family love to be able to keep going. So shout out to my sister Ori, I love you.
Okay. Yeah, so definitely. So your family is your motivation to keep you going and keep things, always.
Correct.
Because your business is like a roller coaster, right? So it's like highs and lows, right? Because you're like a stock, you can go 400%, but then you could drop 400%, right?
Correct.
So it's always important, like you said, to have that nest egg and have other things going on when you do get in those, like right now, like productions are shut down, right?
Everything. Let me tell you, I would have been totally, if this was the only thing I had, it would have been a wrap. It would have been a wrap because honestly, everything's closed right now in production. I mean, we're doing a few things here and there. Like we're kind of like between all of us here. Yeah. I mean, there's some people we are shooting sneaky, little things here and there outside, 6 feet apart, but not in production houses. Like everything's closed, So if this is the only thing you were depending on, then that's going to be a really big problem for you.
Yeah. Your friend, I think Raul Rivera Zambrana. Eric's so proud of you.
Shout out to Raul. Thank you, puppy. Appreciate it.
Definitely. Who is somebody that you want to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
The Rock.
Okay.
I actually he worked on Jumanji with my client Sir Darius. But I haven't worked with him directly. Mind you, I don't know if you know, but he gets paid $1 million per post. He has the most followers. He actually beat Kylie. Shout out to the Kardashians. Thank you for hitting me up yesterday, by the way.
Okay.
But I also want to work with Nas.
Okay.
Nas has an amazing album he just dropped.
Yes.
You have to listen to it.
I heard it on the plane ride.
You heard it?
Yeah, I heard
Oh
it.
my God, wasn't it sick? Sick. Nas killed it. I want to work with let's see who else. Maybe Al Pacino.
Oh, you know what? I know where Al Pacino hangs at in LA too.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. He hangs in a restaurant, a hotel, and smokes cigars on Sundays.
Really? Today's Sunday. Let's go.
I'm in Vegas, but next time I'm in Vegas, you know, I'll take you over there.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Al's always in there smoking on cigars. Like he's always, yeah.
That
And he hangs at
good.
this little spot on this little. It's like a little dive bar. He also hangs at.
Oh, cool. Yeah, those places in the cut. They always like those places.
Yeah, because he knows no paparazzi outside. He can have fun. He could do his thing and stuff like that. So yeah, that new album is crazy. Well, Esco always brings it. So the Rock and Esco. Okay, so those are people that you want to work with. So what do you want to leave to the industry as like a legacy to the industry, and like what do you want to leave as like a legacy to your family?
I think everything that I've been already working on, you know, because these are things that are long term, not short term. So just leaving them financially stable with whatever I've been able to put on the table. Making sure like my nephew, shout out to Destiny and my little Michael. Like my nephews and my nieces, like just being, you know, like my mind already is like, hey, if anything happens to me, they have my place. Because if they want to go to college, you know, my place is in Manhattan. If they want to go to school, they don't have to worry about, you know, boarding or just living on campus. They can stay at my place. You know, two bedrooms, they both get a room. So I kind of already had that in my mind for keeping them set when they get older. And just kind of just leaving like a small staple of me in life, you know, whatever.
What do you want the industry to remember about Eric Santiago as far as the fashion industry and styling?
That I'm a fierce little cookie.
Okay. You might need to start a cookie brand. Look,
right. You never know. Fierce cookies. Fierce cookies.
Look.
Okay.
Listen. We can brand that fierce cookies.
I like it. I like it.
Look, I'm always.
You guys listening, go take it. We're getting it right now. Put it here. Fierce cookie. Fierce cookie's mine.
Hey, write that down, man. Copyright that, man. I'm telling you.
Look, put it down.
Okay, definitely. Yeah, the company logo. The company is in the house. Taylor Insurance and Financial Services. Definitely. I know Zelfie wants to probably shoot you for an episode. I know you guys probably talked about that. You know, and any last words for the individuals that's listening, any minorities that want to get into business, or words of encouragement that you want to give people or anything like that? Like anything else?
Yeah. Never, ever, ever listen to anyone telling you no. There's no such thing as the word no. You could always find a way. There's always a way. Stay around positive people.
Exactly.
Very important. To have positive people around you to shed a little light with you.
Exactly.
Shine a light on me, like the song. You know what I mean? Save your money. You know, especially in these times right now. And just love one another because I mean, it's crazy all the shootings and killings and all. I mean, just us killing one another. I mean, that's all gotta stop. I mean, if we want to be better and greater, we're the first ones we need to take care of, which is each other.
Exactly.
You know. So,
exactly.
That's kind of where I'm at with this right now, with just where we are in the world, and we're. Wash your hands, wear your mask. Yeah, I got mine right here, just in case Malik coughs. You know, I have it already. And just stay safe and love one another.
Yep, and vote.
Vote. Oh my God! Most important, November 23rd. What is November 8th for us?
Go in and vote. Don't mail your votes in.
Don't mail it in. I mean, they putting padlocks on mailboxes, so you won't mail it in. So go in person and vote. Very, very important. So we can have our country back.
Somebody told me today, you know, I'm voting for Kamala and Joe, and they said it did an Instagram post said, I'm gonna vote for them no matter what they did in the past. I'm still friends with a lot of people that did crazy things in the past.
Right.
So it's just like you have no other choice. Like if you want the country to continue to go like it is, You have no
Right.
other choice to vote for Joe Biden
Exactly.
and Kamala. It's like, I don't
Right.
care what they did or what that doesn't matter. Keep the country
Right.
how it is or have
Right.
it changed. That's
Exactly.
the two choices.
Our voices are really loud. We just have to use them. We're very, very loud, you know, and Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, Yellow Lives Matter, every lives matter, you know. So let's just make a difference. Only we could all make a difference together. So
Exactly. What's your opinion on the Black Lives Movement?
what's my what? I'm sorry?
Your opinion on the Black Lives Movement.
My opinion is that it's about time that, you know, we're being heard. It's about time that now, I think that now we're getting more of traction, you know. And now I think we're not there yet, but I think we're making a lot of progress.
Exactly.
So I'm happy about that. We're making some changes. You know, people are now starting to hear our voices, and that's very important that we, you know, set our future for the ones coming behind us.
Exactly. Well, definitely appreciate the conversation today, and appreciate you coming in this week, as you were scheduled 2 weeks out, but I had to do a switcheroo. And
Yeah,
you.
you know, but again, that's part of the business. This is exactly how the game is.
Exactly.
You always have to be ready and able and willing. You know.
Exactly.
Shout out to my baby Lewis.
So thanks for everything, Celebrity Stylist, Eric Santiago. You guys got a lot of game today. I hope you use it in life. Tell everyone to follow their dreams. Go for what you want to get in life. Use your job.
Never settle. And never settle.
And use your job to fund your career.
Correct.
That's what you use your job for. And have me and Estylz be your financial advisors. And then
yes, to Zelfie and Malik, and to Fierce Cookies.
Look, that's a whole line though. Fierce Cookies.
I love it.
Fierce Pen. Fierce. That's a whole situation right there.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm telling you. But thanks, Eric. Thanks, and you have a great one. Okay.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right, guys. Bye.